Hello, and welcome to Wired Differently, inside the neurodivergent world. I'm your host, Sarah Matskin, and I was diagnosed with ADHD in 2016, and I'm still trying to figure it out, especially what it means to be neurodivergent. As a Harper student and reporter, I want to talk to other students about their neurodiverse way of life. Neurodivergence can include, but is not limited to, autism, ADHD, dyslexia, and dyspraxia. So let's diverge our way into understanding. I'm sitting here today with Gabby O'Grady, a 19-year-old Harper student who's a freshman and is majoring in law enforcement. Gabby was diagnosed with ADHD, and I'm sitting here to talk more about that. Do you want to talk a little bit about kind of when you got diagnosed and maybe like if you realized or didn't realize?
I just felt like I was just bad at school. I just thought, I'm just one of those kids that's probably never going to be good at school, But as, I started progressing more into the third grade, into the year, it just got harder. And, I was failing math to the point where I had to get extra help. I'd have to leave math to go get extra help. And I was just like, wow, I just really suck at math, I guess. But at the end of the year, she ended up failing me and giving me a D in third grade. And I know it's like elementary school, big whoop, you get a D. Just kind of expect support from your teachers and you're in third grade. Why aren't you giving your kid maybe a little bit more of a boost? If you know there's something wrong, why don't you talk to them? She would just send me out with different teachers. She wouldn't help support me. She would just kind of reprimand me. So that was hard. And then in fourth grade, I just was talking to my parents. I was kind of just I just don't feel normal. I don't feel like my brain's normal. So I remember going into this guy's office. He made me take this test where every time there was an X, I had to press the space bar. The results came in. I had ADHD, and my parents weren't surprised, but they immediately were like, "Oh, let's get you on medication."
Would you say life before your and after your diagnosis were different? Was it scary to get diagnosed? Was it clarifying?
Before I got diagnosed, I always just knew there was something wrong, and I couldn't point my finger on it. I was just why am I acting this way? Why am I different from other people? Everyone seems to get their work done within 20 minutes. I get my work done within 2 hours. That's not fair. And so after I got diagnosed, put on medication, it got a little bit better. But with ADHD, you have to go through a lot of therapy to basically understand your ADHD and manage it, because you can't necessarily fix it forever.
I can share some of my own experiences. So yeah, I was diagnosed in 2016. So I'd say fourth grade, 10 years old. I was the kid that talked a lot, and yeah, it felt just really isolating, because I was I'm just different than everyone else. I was something's wrong with me. They would email my parents. So yeah, I got diagnosed similar, I feel it was some math testing or a bunch of questions, and I got diagnosed and I got put on meds, and yeah, both my siblings had ADHD, so I guess I knew a little, but yeah, it just kind of felt something was wrong with me, and I was okay, this is just how I have to live my life. Do you notice any challenges or obstacles you face on a daily basis?
I mean, I'm sure you can agree or vouch for this, but just getting out of my bed, just stop doom scrolling. Okay, now it's time to take a shower. Let's take a shower. I'll take a shower in 5 minutes. And then it's 2 hours later. It's shit, I need to take a shower.
Yeah, I feel on social media especially, there's that grind set, if you're not succeeding and you're not doing something, you're lazy. With ADHD, it's so different. If you even take a shower, that's a win. If you go to all your classes, that's a win. It's not that we're lazy. It's that our brain is functioning differently.
I just feel people with ADHD, just understand the world a little bit more, kind of understand. I'm not saying non-neurodivergent people don't feel that way, but I'm just saying people with ADHD tend to feel things so deeply because they've had to deal with things so deeply.
How do you feel about the label neurodivergent or ADHD?
I wish people would not think that being neurodivergent is just such a extraterrestrial saying oh, you're so different and neurodivergent, wow, do you need help with anything, are you okay? I'm fine. I just, my brain just processes things differently.
Have you ever been treated differently because of having ADHD?
I would just get into trouble, just not doing very good choices and just getting myself suspended, and like it wasn't anything like crazy, but like it was just people made me seem like I was like, oh, this like this girl who just fights with people. Like I was just like, no, that's not how I am. Like there's another story. Like I was in my math class, but I also did have strict accommodations where I could leave the class and take a walk around, especially for like my ADHD and anxiety. And so I was walking around one day the hallway. This teacher stops me. She's like, "What are you doing? Get back to class." And I was like, I snapped at her because I was like, you know what? I don't care what you think. I have this accommodation and you don't need to be in my business. And I walked away. And that got me in trouble because the teacher told the dean.
Just because the law says like we have to have these accommodations met, teachers don't always meet them like they do the bare minimum, you know?
I would vouch for myself. My parents would. Gabby needs extra time. Gabby needs to maybe eat lunch in a different environment because the lunchroom is just not making her feel, it's overstimulating. It's so bad. And so when I finally told them that, they're like, well, I don't know if there's anything we can do. Like, she can sit outside and eat. Oh, okay, so I'm going to go sit outside in the wintertime. What do I do in the winter? Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you get that label like you're the kid that's bad and you need special treatment, but in a bad way. Like honestly, you get labeled like you're not smart. When I feel like neurodivergent people are good at things in different ways. Obviously, social media is a huge part of our lives. And I feel like, I don't know if you see this, I see more people posting about mental health and like being a neurodivergent. Do you think the conversation around being neurodivergent has changed at all over time?
I think that it's become a lot more accepting, especially in the ADHD aspect. Like, I think maybe it's just the things like my algorithm, the things that I like, but like I'm always getting like these funny memes about people with ADHD and women with ADHD and like how like there was this one meme I looked at and it was like when somebody's telling you a story, but you're already thinking of a story you want to tell them, so you interrupt them and you say it before you forget. And I just feel like it kind of makes me feel seen. Like, yes, obviously there's going to be people who are like, oh, everyone has ADHD now. Like, oh, you're just doing it for attention. Like, you just want to be different. Like, I don't know. It depends on like kind of things that you like on social media, but I definitely feel like it's more of a positive experience for me, making me feel not alone.
Because definitely when we were like first got diagnosed, like we didn't really have phones or anything. So like we were so young to process it. Like I was like, I don't know if you felt it, but I was like, I don't really know who to talk to. Like
I kept it a secret. Like I remember telling my friend in 4th grade who moved away, I remember telling her and I whispered in her ear and I was like, I need to tell you something. Like I started taking pills. And she was probably like, what do you mean? And I was like ADHD. And she's like, what's that? And I was like, oh my gosh.
Right. You're like, why can't people just know?
Right. Like, why can't we educate the world? Like, and like, just the thing about, oh, mental health matters, all this and that. And then where's the aspect of like when it comes to women struggling with ADHD? Why is it always, oh, this famous basketball player is ADHD, look at him? Like, I'm just like, where's the women? Like, let's go.
How do you think maybe people can embrace like being neurodivergent or like maybe using it to our own benefit? You're in law enforcement. Like, I feel like a lot of people maybe who like get reprimanded, not everyone, maybe they have some like mental health struggles or like they don't know how to advocate for themselves. I feel like maybe you see it from a different perspective.
Oh, yeah. Just like showing that compassion and just being like, hey, like, man, like, hey, girl, like, I'm with you. I'm on your side. Like, being in law enforcement and having ADHD, people think, oh, you're just going to be like this like girl who's just going to tell people what to do, da, da, da. And I'm just like, no, like, I want to help people. I want to, so many criminals, so many people who just struggle with like ADHD, they need help. They need guidance. And like just the fact that like people feel so alone and like I just want to be there, be like, I'm on your side, like I'll help you, like listen, like it's going to be okay. Like I have ADHD, like you're not alone. Like it's fine. And so I'm just excited to be able to put my passion out there and like make it like a better place. And like the thing about ADHD is like I'm going to use my advantage. Oh, I can talk to people more. I can have a stronger voice. I can use my strength.
How do you wish maybe bosses or teachers like accommodated to you?
Oh, I have a great idea. Like I don't know if this is just me, but like I wish people, instead of giving me verbal examples, they would give me physical examples. Like, I get it. Oh, you're telling me what to do. Oh, put the trash away. Okay, where do I put the trash? You have to show me. And then, oh, they're like, it's back there in the corner. No, no, no. You need to show me. I feel like just having more lists, having more step-by-step things, reminders, just things like that, like, just would make neurodivergent people's lives a lot easier, especially the visual things, because I know personally I'm a visual learner.
What would you say to someone who maybe is newly diagnosed or maybe discovering that they have ADHD? Like, maybe kind of what would you say to like your younger self, that like knowing what you know now?
I would totally say, like, it's going to be okay. You are not alone. There's probably people you're walking by daily that have ADHD. People take meds for it. People are in therapy for it. You can still accomplish amazing things. I never thought I was going to graduate high school with my ADHD. I never thought I was going to go to college with my ADHD because my brain was telling me, oh, I wouldn't be successful like that. Yeah. I was about to choose a career that I didn't want to do because I just thought it would be best for my ADHD, not what I wanted to do. And so when I finally just realized, like, live your life. Don't be afraid just because you have something that you think is going to stop you or you think other people are going to think down upon. Prove them wrong. Be like, hey, literally, F you. Like, I can do this just as well as you can, maybe better. So it's going to be okay and everything will work out and be figured out. Like, I was unmedicated for a while and it was hard. I mean, I figured out how to do a lot of things, like figured myself out a little bit more, but I'm still on I still take ADHD meds. I got back on them and they're not like super strong, but they help me remember.
What do you wish like people would ask you about ADHD or how your life or mind works?
Ooh, maybe like, how does your ADHD look for you? Like, how is it like in your brain? Because I know like my ADHD is just like all over the place. I'm thinking of tons of dirty-minded things. I'm thinking a bunch of bad things. And not all of those mean that's what I'm thinking. Like my therapist once told me, oh, like your thoughts aren't who you actually are. Yeah. And that stuck with me. Like just people like asking me, oh, like, is that really like how you think? Or like just even people asking questions like, how do you manage your time? Like what works for you during school? Like, what do you feel like? How do you feel like ADHD has like impacted you?
I wish people would ask me like, what do I need to do to support you? Like, even if it's maybe going out of their way a little bit, like I need you to remind me 50 times. Like we text each other all the time, like just about like, hey, like, have you done this assignment yet or something? Like if we're in the same class or like
I'll be like, are you on your way yet?
Yeah.
Hello, are you on your way yet? Like, yeah, or like, do you need help with anything? Do you want to FaceTime and just do stuff on calls with each other? Like, having, like, a best friend with ADHD has just made me so grateful.
Like, having a best friend with ADHD or just knowing one person that maybe you don't even talk to that much, it just feels like, okay, I'm not alone. This isn't some made-up thing that I, like, have to go through by myself.
Yeah, and, like, people think, like, there's so many components to ADHD. Like, a lot of the things that people with ADHD do are because of their ADHD. Now, that doesn't define you, but, like, I just want people out there to know, like, that a lot of ADHD isn't just a simple thing. It's just not just a few things that comes with having ADHD. It's an entire spectrum under the sun.
Kind of wrapping it up, is there anything else, like, you want to add or just want people to know?
Just treat people with kindness, I guess. Like, just, be there for your friends, your family, just anybody. Don't judge a book by its cover. And if you get to know people with ADHD, you'll actually realize that they're pretty funny. Yeah, and they're smart. So don't underestimate them and maybe one day you guys could be like me and Sarah and be best friends with ADHD.
Thank you for joining me on Wired Differently inside the neurodivergent mind. Today, Gabby and I talked about kind of just having ADHD, what that means for both of us, kind of the obstacles that we face, and just kind of where we wish the conversation will go in the future. So join me in the next episode to hear more stories about the neurodivergent world.